Alright, Cougars, this is video 3 on website design. Today we're going to talk about domain names. Up here at the top you'll see it says search Google or type a URL. URL stands for Universal Resource Locator. I didn't make it up, man. Why are you looking at me? One of the easiest ways to check and see if somebody has your idea for what your domain should be is to go to a web building tool or web builder domain editor like GoDaddy.com. Everyone always giggles when I say GoDaddy. I don't know why. It's not my name. Again, I didn't come up with it. But the reason I like this site, not that I'm recommending you use it for anything, it's just that it has right here at the top of the page, it allows you to search domains and see if somebody else has it. So for example, if your name is Betty Jean, which it probably isn't because we don't live in the South, you might want to own BettyJean.com, and you hit search domain, and sure enough, Betty Jean is available for $40,000 because it's very popular. And what it does is it gives you all of these other alternatives. You're like, well, have you considered maybe doing Betty Jean Productions or Betty Jean Salon? What kind of a business do you have? That kind of thing. Betty Jean Club. And you can see some of these for the first year are very cheap. Some of them you have to consider, like, are they going to go up? And they often do. In fact, they fluctuate based on the demand for that particular site. So my site, which is mryork.org, I had to purchase, and every year I pay a fee to own that domain so that it doesn't have the file extension. Now, I'm not suggesting that anybody pay any money to anyone to try and get a shorter URL. That's not the purpose of this. But I want you thinking about what you could do to make your website be more professional. And so I want you thinking kind of ahead of what is available. Could you buy that at some point if you needed to? Right now, I'm not suggesting anyone do that. We don't really need to. But it is kind of fun to see, does somebody have your name? Does somebody already own it? For example, I was going to buy mryork.com, but as you saw in the first video, not only does somebody own it, but they want $5,000 for it. There's a reason why I don't own that. So what I did is I went and used the file extension for nonprofits or schools, which is .org. And if I look for that one, you can see that it's taken, and I know that it's taken because I own it. I also haven't put it up for sale, but if I had, this would be a place that I could actually list it. Now, the purpose of this is not to try to encourage you guys to purchase anything. However, it is nice to think about, what do you want your site called? And so I'm leaving GoDaddy. Remember, that's just there for fun for you guys to try out. Type in your name and see if it's taken. See how much it would cost. Part of the reason this is a good idea is that you want to know if you're going to have to start using something that is maybe an alias or something that's a little bit of a variant. If my first name and last name are taken, maybe I want to add my middle initial, and maybe that's enough. If I have a very popular name, then I might have to add something else entirely. If you guys take a look, this is my first and last name. If I want to buy scottyork.com, again, it's about $3,400 because somebody else owns it, because those are popular names here in America. So I have to think about, is there something else I can do? Can I do Scott, my middle name? Can I put, I don't know, a nickname or something else? So you have to start thinking about what you can start to use professionally, because at some point you're probably going to be looking for a job, and it'd be nice if you had your own website that had all of your materials on it that everyone could view. Which again is another reason why staying off of social media or making sure that you publish all of your stuff yourself is a great idea, because social media benefits from you being on it. You do not benefit from being on social media. In fact, most employers will search social media for you, looking to see what kind of online presence you have. And the less you have, the better, especially when it comes to getting a job. If your main online presence is yours, then you stand to benefit from it, because you're the one that's generating network traffic to go to your website, which is ultimately what we all want to do, is to generate some kind of internet traffic that goes to our website so that we are in control and we benefit from it. Facebook, Instagram, which both owned by the same person, by the way, Twitter, Snapchat, all of those people benefit from you going there because they're the ones getting the advertising dollars. That's really what it comes down to. Think about if you had a website and you generated enough traffic to actually earn your own advertising dollars. Wouldn't that be better? So let's go talk about renaming your stuff. And the easiest way to do that is to go, I'm going to get rid of my preview. I'm going to get rid of GoDaddy for a second. And I'm just going to type in Wix and see if my stuff comes back up. Where you want to go is My Sites. And if you go here, it'll take you to the same place. Now, because we didn't log out, anytime that we go to Wix.com now, it's going to take you straight into your account. Now, there are several different things that you can do from this screen, which is kind of your home screen. In fact, I'm going to get rid of this extra one that I have. This is what's known as the dashboard. Now, in the dashboard, we have site actions, and it'll actually list what your URL is currently. But remember, we can rename the site. And so what you want to do is you want to look at what you have, and you can rename your extension that you have after the slash to whatever you want. Let's say I didn't want Scout on there. I can actually change it to something shorter or something more appropriate. Maybe I want to make a website about what I wish for. I can make a wish site, which is one of your assignments. And now that's changed. It's renaming the site for me, and that's what it is. But what we want to do is change all of this up here from our email to something else. Because I don't want it to be ROMs, which is where I used to work. It's an old email. I was just using that for an example. So I'm going to come down here to Account Settings. See how I did that? I clicked on here, went to Account Settings. And in here we have Basic Info. The account name is what your website is. Now, in order to make changes to that, you do have to remember your password, which hopefully I did. Hey, look at that. And now I can make changes. Chrome is always going to try to ask to remember your stuff. It's up to you if you want to do that. If you're at school, I'd say no. If you're on your home computer, it's probably whatever you want it to be. Under account name, I can change this to anything as long as it hasn't been taken already. So let's say that I want to change it to, let's make it Mr. York Wix. Let's see if that works. And then all I have to do is click out of it and see if it worked. And if it did, then it's going to update everything when I go to it. Now, right now I'm still in Account Settings, which is over here. If I click back over on Site Dashboard, because it said it saved it, now you'll notice up here at the top, my name is Scott. Nice to meet you. And it says Mr. York Wixsite.com /wish, and that's how you change both of those things. Now you have to decide what you want yours to be. What I do not want to see is your email or your school credentials up here, because when you first sign up for the account, it's going to take your email, which is your student ID at stu.wvusd. And that's not what you want. You want an easy to get to, easy to follow URL that you can give to anybody that looks professional. And by the way, this Wixsite.com thing, that's because you're making it with them for free. If you ever want to change that later on, you can. But for right now, that's perfectly professional for a student. And every time I click on it, it'll go to that website, and I can change anything that I want on here. I can put a video on it. I can add pictures, anything that I like. Please make sure that you always scroll down. Get rid of anything that you don't need, anything that's not yours. There are 3 pages that I'm asking you guys to make, but you guys can make more than that if you like. If you want to manage your website and manage your pages, all you have to do is go over here to the left-hand side once the editor loads in, and you'll be able to make as many pages as you need. In this case, right now, it already has a navigation bar at the top, but over here on the side is where you're actually going to get to see them. So here's About. There's the About page, and you can make changes there. You can also make changes to what these things are called. You can change everything on here. If you delete these buttons, you can actually add new ones by going to Add. It's really easy to find everything. You just have to look for it, and if you get stuck, you can always go to Help. If you want to make a page underneath this one, you can as well. If you'll notice on my website, I did that several times. Underneath Photography, There's things that I took pictures of, such as the Aladdin show from this year and Into the Woods. And you can click on those as separate pages, and all of that information is there. How extensive your website becomes is really up to you. It depends on what you guys are putting into your website. This guy is not me, so I'm going to delete it. Pure and simple. I hope you guys have fun making your own website. If you have any questions, please feel free to write to me. And if you guys have not done so, please look at the templates and follow the rubric, because you're going to be graded based on the information that is in those rubrics. Please make sure you follow your assignment and make sure that you're covering all your bases so that you get full credit. Thanks so much for listening. Have fun.